4.3 is using systems to solve problems, like story problems. Yes, story problems.
I hate story problems.
All right. Well, the one thing that you can always say about story problems is they are at least how you would apply the stuff we're learning to the real life. So, the thing that you need to know, the biggest thing about these systems is if you have two unknowns, you can solve it as long as you have two equations. November. Guys. Yep. All right. So, if you have two unknowns, you need two equations. If you have three unknowns, how many equations do you have? You need three, is right. So, as many unknowns as you have is how many equations you need. But right now, we're only going to work with two unknowns.
Are we ever going to get up to 3?
We're going to get up to 3 by the end of the chapter. Yep. All right. Example 1. Girls, I'm serious. All right, example 1. One number is 4 times another. So one number is 4 times another number, and their sum is 175. Do you need paper, pencil? What do you need? Do you need pencil?
No.
Okay. All right. When you are doing these, there's 3 steps that I want you to do. All right? And I will tell you that this is one of if I said on the scale of 1 to 10 how hard this is a 1. We are going to get up to a 10. So make sure you do the steps how I'm asking you to do them. All right? So we can gradually get up to there. All right. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to determine what your variables are. All right. So let's call X. What do you think we can call X? So one number, right? So X is going to be one number. Or the first number. If X is the first number, that means Y is our second number. I'm going to stop there, make sure you guys understand where I got the variables. Our second step is to write our system. So our equations. On 80% of the story problems you will get tonight, you will be able to read it and do a system, a system of equations, just like we're going to do right now. We're going to do another one that we're going to have to make a table kind of to figure it out, but right now we're just going to write our equations. So let's go up to this first thing. Yep. Yep, don't time. Okay. I want them to think about, yes, you're right, but just wait. So, one number, Tony, it says one number. What is one number?
Can you pick a random number?
No. X. So one number is X. Is what? Equals 4 times another number. So now it's equals 4y. Okay. Now we have to get, that's our first equation. We need our second equation. So it says their sum. What does the word sum mean? Add. So it says their sum is 175. So what does that mean?
X plus y equals 175.
Yeah, so x plus y is equal to 175.
I hate word problems.
I just don't like short form period. I normally just skip
Okay. Bad thing is the rest of the chapter is pretty much that. Okay, so alright, so we can't skip it. We gotta, those of you that are talking, side conversating.
Oh, we were talking about this.
Okay, what? Alright. But right now, hold that thought then. Unless you want to share it with the class.
I just thought
Okay,
that when you think about it, it's just x plus 4x. You don't need that first and third.
Okay, the biggest thing why we want to make sure we can set up is because this is a process.
Y plus 4y.
Well, this is gonna be a process to be able to solve all of our story problems. So we want to make sure that we. Yep. All right. Exactly. All right. So that's our system. Now the last one is to solve our system and to figure out what we figured out. Once we solve for x and y, what does it mean? So we're gonna solve and evaluate. Or make a conclusion. Alright. Yeah, they probably say that about me. Alright. So, if we have x equals 4y and x plus y equals 175, what can we do to solve this system? What can we do, Dylan, how are we going to solve this system? What can we do to solve this system? We are going to use substitution. We're going to put this in for x.
Wouldn't it be 5y equals 175?
It's going to be. So we have 4y and 1y. So we have 5y is equal to 175.
Y equals 35.
Divide by 5. So y is 35. Plug y back in. It says that x is equal to 4 times y. Did you say wait? Y is 35, right? X equals 4 times y. So we have 4 times the 35, which is 140. Alright, so we need, when we're doing story problems, we need to know what is 35 and what is 140. You can't just tell me 35 and 140. What are those? You want to make sure you clarify that.
Well, 35 is the second number and 140 is the first number.
Okay, so the first number is your 140. The second number is 35. Bless you. Gesundheit. So you always want to make sure you tell what those numbers represent. Don't just say 35, 140. Make sure you tell me what they mean. Bless you.
All the story problems tonight going to be like this, or are they going to be like more difficult, like something else?
There's going to be there's going to be some like this, but there's going to be some like the next ones too. Okay, here we go. example 2. Anybody not have example 1? 2. And then you guys are gonna get your homework, and then we're gonna keep checking back. You'll see. All right, example 2. So we have a gardener has 2 solutions of weed killer. Yeah, I just realized it.
Our next test is going to be all word problems.
Not all.
No, just most.
Of it?
Most, yeah.
Okay, you're fail that test.
Not necessarily.
That's
Don't,
something new.
guys, don't think it like that.
Never done that before.
Okay.
I just didn't end with a W.
Okay. All right. Oh, weed killer. Together. All right. 1 is 15% weed killer, and the other is 5%. All right. So I don't know if you know this, but if you go into the store and you buy weed killer, they don't all have the same amount of solutions. If it's cheaper, you're probably getting more of a watered down version. If you buy the more expensive one, it usually has a higher percentage in it. However, if you go and you are a landscaper, and it says that the recommended is maybe 12%. That's what recommends. But you go to the store and they have a 15 and a 5, but you really don't want to just buy the 15%, because if you buy just the 15%, you're spending more money of your profit. So this is what will help you, like things like this, and that's what this is all about. So the question is, the gardener needs 100 liters of 12% weed killer.
Can't you just buy the 15 and then water it down?
If you owned a business, no, you would not be able to. Like if you truly owned a business, that would be illegal. Because you would have to, like, if you were presenting your stuff and you went through, you'd have to still present how you would get it.
Well, wouldn't you just have what you just said? You
So,
use 15
okay.
and you water it with so much water down in it, but that is in your business.
Well, if you could prove that you're getting it to 12%. I mean, if you could prove it, but all right. So anyways, not in here. All right. So the question is, how much of each solution should be used? Since we don't know the brand names, we're going to call one type A, and the next one will be type B. All right. Now, because we need variables, we still need our variables. Just to be, for the sake of it, just go X and Y. Just call the top one your X and the bottom your Y. Alright. So, type A, how much percent of the weed killer does it have? Guys, focus up here. So we have 15%, and the other one has 5%. These problems are like you're doing totals, because it says that the gardener needs the total of 100. So we're thinking of totals here. All right. And how much solution does he need total? So if he has a pitcher and he puts X and Y, how much is his total amount that he needs?
12.
Not percentage, how much of the liquid? He needs 100 liters, right? Because this is your solution. This is like your solution.
And by that you mean like the chemicals.
Well, this means like, nope, like if I took a 10-ounce glass of water and a 12-ounce, it's how much water I have. So I need 100 liters of solution. Okay, that's how much is in there. All right. Now, but how much percent, this is our percentage, how much percent are we looking for? 12. All right. This is what's given. This is all my givens. Is there, right now, is there a question on how I got my givens? This is just a graphic organizer. You don't have to do it this way, but I will tell you that the total problems, percentages and monies, this is easier to do it this way because I'm going to show you how it's easier in a second. Percentage. 15% of X is what? 0.15X. So what is 5% of Y? 0.05 Y. What is 12% of 100? 12. When you use this graphic organizer and you set it up correctly, Tony, what happens is hopefully you can see two equations right there. The first equation says that X plus Y is 100.
And then 0.15x plus 0.05y equals 12.
The next equation is your 0.15X plus 0.05Y is equal to 12. Once we have our system set up, now we just have the algebra to clean it up or to solve for it or to do whatever. Alright. So, how can I solve this system? There's a whole bunch of ways, but what's some ways? Jared? If you wanted to use linear combination, you sure could. You'd have to multiply the top or bottom by a number so that they could.
Just subtract x, so then you have 100 minus x equals y.
So I'm going to rewrite it, and I think substitution is the easiest on this. So y equals 100 minus x. However, when you are solving your homework, you can do it any way you want. So if linear combination is the easiest, I would definitely recommend that for you. But in my notes today, I'm just going to do substitution. So this one is going to go in for the y value there. So I have 0.15x plus my 0.05 times 100 minus x is equal to 12. And I'm going to stop there, make sure all of you know what I did. And if you have questions, let me know. Alright, next step. What's my next step? Distribute. Yep, so I'm going to distribute. So I'm going to go 0.15x plus 0.05 times, oops, I'm going to go times 100. You didn't have to do this, but I don't know why I started doing this, though. I didn't multiply it out, sorry. Because you would have to go 0.05 times 100. I don't know why I wrote it down. So you got 0.15x plus, if you multiply these out, you get 5 minus my 0.05x is equal to 12. Lincoln, did you have a question or you get it now? Okay. So, combine like terms. We have 0.1x plus 5 is equal to 12. subtract my 5. 0.1x is equal to the 7. Divide by 0.1, x is 70. Remember, in these story problems, you can't just say x is 70. You have to come back and say, what does that represent? So 70 liters of, which is 15% solution, yep, or type A. So you could say type A, but the big thing is, you still would have to say 15% because you might have called this type A and someone else might have done it differently. So you want to make sure you come back with the original number, so of 15% solution. And y, how much is y?
30.
And how did you get that?
I put 70 in for x, and then I did.
So 100 minus 70 gives me 30 liters of 5%. And this one again was y is equal to 100 minus x, which is 70. All right. I want everyone to try number 7, because 7 is like this, and I think that these are the hardest ones of tonight's assignment. So I want you to try number 7 first. Okay, we're doing number 7 first. Yeah, you can work together.